So today you are going to spend some time taking a really close look at your daffodil, okay? So we are going to actually dissect your daffodil. We did this today in class and it was so much fun. The kids absolutely loved doing it. But it is something that you have to be very careful and delicate with. Flowers are fragile, they're delicate. So when we're taking apart the flower, you need to do it with very careful hands. And I'm going to show you some things that you're going to need to do in order to do this successfully, okay? So I put this into your little baggie yesterday, and this was the one that you were supposed to get. And instead I sent to you my copy. But this copy and your copy are pretty much the same, except I have circled the words that I want you to focus on today. So I have circled the word spathe. I have circled the word petals. I have circled the word trumpet, pistil, stem, and stamen. So those are the parts of the flower that you have that we're going to actually take apart today. So, Skylar, would you cut me out one of those so I can show Kara what one of the kids did today, please? So, I sent you a daffodil. My daffodil got ripped a little bit, and yours is actually a bit bigger than mine. But the first thing that we did when we took apart the daffodil is we observed. We got out our magnifying glass, and we took about 2 to 3 minutes to really just look at our flower. Feel it, check it out, kind of squeeze it a little bit, smell it, get that magnifying glass and look inside of it. We just noticed every little thing about the flower that we could. Okay? Then, so that's what I want you to do now. Actually, I'm not going to give you a then. I want you to do that now. I want you to get your magnifying glass out, and I want you to really observe your flower. All right. So hopefully you paused the video there. If you didn't, pause it now and do it. Okay. So now that you've taken some time to observe the flower, you might have noticed, and I didn't even look to check if your flower had this on it, but daffodils have this dried up, shriveled section right here. Okay? And this is called the spathe. And I'm going to send you some pictures of the spathe on a flower, really close up pictures. And what the spathe is when the daffodil is not a flower yet, but it's still a bud. The spathe is what's covering the bud and protecting it. Okay, so that's what this is here. And so when the bud starts to grow slowly, okay, the spathe begins to rip open. Thank you, darling. Yep. The spathe begins to rip open, and the bud turns into a closed flower. Okay? So that is called the spathe. And if you could carefully remove the spathe by peeling it very gently, trying not to rip it all up from the stem. See that? Okay, and then take a glue stick and a piece of paper. Okay? We did it on pieces of construction paper today. See this? This is Jasmine's. Okay? And she glued her spathe right there in the top left corner. And then underneath it, she wrote spathe. Okay? So you can go ahead and do that. Pause the video. Okay. So the spathe is a protective, kind of like a leaf/petal that goes around the bud, and then it busts and breaks open when the flower is a closed flower. Okay? And then eventually, the closed flower slowly begins to open, and you have what we call petals. Petals. And daffodils, one of my petals is gone, but daffodils have 6 petals, okay? So we're going to remove the petals, but this is where you need to be very careful. You can't grab the petal here and pull it off, because then you're just going to break the tip of the petal off, and that's not going to be good. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take your fingers all the way into here, okay? And if you have fingernails, great. And you can peel the petal off way in there at the base, so you get the whole petal, okay? And that's what I want you to do now, is I want you to get all 6 petals off. Just like this. I only have 5 because I had to give a petal away to somebody who accidentally ripped theirs open. Okay. And then you can pause the video anytime if you need to catch up. Okay, I'm going to keep talking, but you can pause anytime. So then, after you get all your petals removed from your flower, then what you're going to do is you're going to glue them at the top or somewhere on your paper where they're, Jasmine actually did these a little too close, but she did write spathe and she did write petals, okay? But she could have moved the petals over a little ways, all right? But you're going to glue your petals, your 6 petals on the top of the paper, and then you're going to write petals. Pet, als. And there's an A-L-S at the end, petals. Okay? So go ahead and pause if you need to. All right, now for the trumpet. So flowers have a spathe to protect the bud. When the bud grows into a closed flower, the spathe goes away, kind of just hangs back, and then the flower opens up and you have petals. Flowers have petals to attract pollinators, like bees. There's all kinds of pollinators, but I'm going to talk about bees today. Specifically a bumblebee, because bumblebees absolutely love daffodils. Okay, so petals are like really sweet smelling, they're bright, they're beautiful, and they're so attractive to bees. Bees just love them, they can't resist them. So the petals are what kind of calls the pollinators to the flower. Okay, then when the pollinator gets to the flower, they land on the trumpet. This is called the trumpet. Okay, and the trumpet is surrounding something. If you look down in the trumpet, you can see some long stick things. Okay, I'll tell you what those are in a minute. And the trumpet protects those things, okay? And it also protects the pollinators. So when the little bumblebee decides that he wants to go into the daffodil to get the sweet nectar, okay, he has to go down into the trumpet. All right, and the trumpet can protect the bumblebee. So now what we're going to do is we are going to slowly, starting from, well, what you might need to do, I don't have to do it because my trumpet is actually torn a little bit right there. But if your trumpet looks like this, what you need to do is take some scissors and very carefully, without cutting the things inside, make one quick cut. Maybe have Kylie help you if you have a little trouble with scissors. Make one quick little slow cut down the trumpet to where it starts to get green again, okay? And then, once you do that, then you can slowly, without hurting you can actually cut all the way around the base too, but you can't cut the little things on the inside away, okay? So you're gonna slowly peel away the trumpet, okay? There. Now I've got my trumpet off, okay? And then, just like Jasmine did, you're gonna lay your trumpet out, glue it down, and then you're going to label it trumpet. Go ahead and pause the video right now. Good. Oh. So right now we've got the spathe done, the petals done, and the trumpet. Now the trumpet has the important task of taking care of these. These are called stamens, okay? But there's one that looks different than all the others. Take a look very closely with your magnifying glass and find the one that looks different from all the other ones. What do you see? I'm actually going to go ahead and I'm going to take a stamen out all the way from the bottom. So here's a stamen. Okay, you should have 6 that look just like this. Okay, and then one that looks just a little bit different, like this. See how that looks different than this one? See? So, these right here, there's 6 of these. These are called stamens, okay? If you don't have 6, that's okay. It just means a bug might have accidentally ripped one out or whatever. And you can see where the little patch of pollen is on the top. Okay, I can kind of even maybe take the little pollen. Well, I don't want to, but I can move it. See that little patch of pollen up there? Okay, so when the little bumblebee crams its fat little body down the trumpet of the flower, its furry body is rubbing all over this pollen on the tip of this stamen, okay? And so then the pollen gets stuck to the bumblebee's fur. Okay, and then the bumblebee goes all the way down the trumpet to slurp up some nectar, and then it comes back up. And then what does it hit when it comes back up? Well, it hits this pistil. This is called a pistil. Okay, it's a bit taller than all of the stamens, and it's a little opened up on the end there. I don't know if you can see that really good. Hopefully you can see it on yours. They're good. You can see it good on my forehead. See how it opens up a bit? Okay, that is a pistil. And so the little bumblebee flies up, and it has to kind of rest on top of the pistil before it can take off. All right, and when it does, all of that pollen that got stuck to its fur gets stuck on this sticky pistil here, and then the pollen goes down the pistil like a tube. Okay? And that is going to be how the pollen fertilizes the flower, because the pistil sucks the pollen from the bee's belly down into this big swollen thing right here called an ovary. All right, but we'll talk about that later. So you now have to take your, your stamens and put them together. The stamens hold all the pollen, and your pistil, keep that separate. And then you're going to label stamen and pistil. Okay, so go ahead, pause the video, and do that now. All right, so now I have to remove the rest of my stamens. Let me get them off. I actually got lucky. I had actually all 6 stamens, which is pretty cool. And 1 pistil. 6 stamens, 1 pistil. Now I told you that the little bumblebee goes down the trumpet, all the way down to the bottom, gets the nectar, but all along the way, rubs its body all over the pollen, comes up, and before it takes off, it touches the top of the pistil, and its pollen gets dropped down the pistil. Okay? And that pistil's tube, where it used to be, is connected to that big swollen green thing at the top of the stem. That's called the ovary. And inside the ovary is the seed. Okay? And the pollen mixes with the seed, and then before you know it, pollination occurs. Okay? So that is what we have left. The ovary, say ovary, and the stem. And so that is what you are going to do next. Well, she did it this way, which is totally fine. Okay, and then she labeled it stem. You can lay it down on the bottom. You can do it wherever you have room. Okay? And you're going to write stem, okay? And then this is the ovary. So you can try your best to write that, okay? Ovary. And there you have it. Once you are done with all of that, you have just dissected your very first scientific, I don't know, what do you call it? Organism. Once you get to high school, you're going to dissect all kinds of things. But you just started today with a daffodil. And daffodils are connected to bees and pollinators and all those things. We're all working together to make this world work properly, right? We need flowers, we need bees, we need plants. We need all of these things. It's super, super important to know. And now you know all the parts of a daffodil and what the spathe does and what the petals do and what the trumpet does. And those oh so important stamens that have the pollen on them for the bees to rub up against and then get into the pistil, which is connected to the ovary, which makes pollination occur. So, I hope you had fun with that. I did. I got to do it twice today. I can't wait to see what yours looks like. I know you're going to do a fantastic job because you're always so neat as a pen and you do such a good work. So, have fun with that. And don't forget to work on your fluency practices. Definitely work on your blends today. So the BL says bull. Or if you're on SP, SP says sp. Read those blends. Say the sound, squish them together. Say the sound, squish them together, and read the blends. And I also am interested to see how you did with your sticks. So let me know. All right, talk to you soon. Bye.